Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. Today's date is August the 26th, 2019. I am your happy healer for president. You better believe that. And we have times that are critical. We have to get serious in these times about the critical nature of our times. And guess what? Our times are only going to continue getting worse the more we don't do the important work we must do. So let us start us out today in prayer. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I'm going to step back a little bit because this camera's just a little bit high. That's a little better. Bit of a perfectionist here, folks, and you know that about me. I just want things to go off right, and we'll get there eventually. We always do. So here's what we are going to do, folks. I hope that you're keeping yourself happy and sane. You know, this is the stuff that we talk about in our time because too many people are not that right now when they need to be that the most. And so let us do this prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, please watch over the children of America, and that's all of us who are alive and human beings in this country who need you, who sometimes we think we have it all figured out, but we know that's not the truth, that we need each other, and that we have to admit that. And it only comes with humility, that we have to have that humble heart that loves. Help us with that today. That's what we're after today in this show. Welcome to the program, folks. I am your happy healer. We're going to get this started. I am the honest, humble, holy, loving spirit of your happy healer, love manifested now. It's not going. Do it again. I will always bring you the happy healer to show you who I am through this. Because I am always your happy healer first. That will never change, and nor would my supporters and family as I call them onto that and for them to change. Because we're on a journey of possibilities, and that lives have taken... Are you stopping this? Just keep it going. Don't touch it anymore.
Okay.
Because we are on a journey of possibilities, and that our lives have taken on more meaning unto themselves as they discover how much their lives have meaning to me. That is a force that translates itself in a visible way, perhaps the way most central to our being and the value that we attach to humanity itself. And that will be the major value enhancing factor that makes it possible to afford us the great power of self-determination. It's amazing as a force, and we all need to consider as we're losing it more and more, and that is disconcerting. Because self-determination, and perhaps in truth, is just love for your own life. The appreciation to God each of us have for this experience, and it's a grand one. It's so clear to see how important we are in this life and how special we are, and we need to share that far and wide, and we have to talk about our collective spirit that is so upset right now. We're enabling people, folks. We're getting out of the concept that some of us have nothing to give back to society simply for the fact that we have a very real and human issue whereby we all need to become peace officers and peer mediators with love. Because that's the force that always turns out, my fellow Americans. It always mitigates the disasters. Love does not let us down and always outlives the lack of patience that greed is always having. Greed can't hang on to save its own life. I want to talk about scams also, and how important it is that we're all aware of what people are doing these days. especially on Facebook. Here's a message that I recently got from a friend of mine, but it was actually a scam. And it was based on this scam where folks will pretend and they gain your trust and they pretend to be people that you're already friends with. And that's how this nefarious mission plays out, by gaining your trust. And there's so many scams. And when you're a happy healer, you can't be scammed so easily because you have your vision to see these scams from so far away. It does two things, and it always has a common theme with the happy healer ways, and it keeps you safe and happy and protecting your heart at all times, which means you are happy in your vision. And that leads me to the second thing, which also it helps you see what is right, that you can see the danger as it's approaching. This way you can pre-attack cues you get. Having been a full and complete happy healer for so long, then your vision is so clear and getting so much done. And that is the point of happy healing, folks. And the interesting part to know about this is that people see me deal with so many complicated things and show such nerves of steel and do it with an easy, matter-of-fact attitude. I say, yes, this is easy for me, because I just recognize that something is wrong and that doing something about it is the right thing to do. In the natural world, that is exactly and obsessively the right thing to do. Being a happy healer and a teacher is just navigating God's truthful nature coupled with God's love for which He has given to us in unlimited amounts. Unlike when we feel lust for sex, that we can actually choose to love in our actions. But yet the first act is a choice. It becomes more real with time because of love's amazing feedback loop power. Love has an amazing and immediate and automatic ability to an almost involuntary way. Love causes people to react. So the initial love is an act for which the reaction is almost all but guaranteed. However, this is the part where it makes it more guaranteed when you cleanse the hell and hate out of your heart, where that ugly greed goes to and comes from, because hate is a big motivator. And that is why I, your happy healer, got rid of it, because it makes it hard to have clear vision. And every good leader must have clear vision. And that is such an obvious thing, or they will be lost before they even get going, I contend. And just as important is to have the purity. So, when you get that stuff, that hate out of your heart, you get to a more pure place. In fact, I have been there already, and also working to lessen the greed in my life, and I'm almost now to the point where I live in the world of love almost full time, which allows me the ability to step into any place in God's creation. And that to me is what self-determination looks like. The same self-determination my friends talked about for so many years, which was, but then with their lousy vision, but with great intention, they went out of their way to do something about it, but they would have been better just keeping their mouths shut, be just like many pundits of today, really, which only end up doing more harm than good. Yet, they weren't dealing with what I would like to remind you is the next valid reason why one should follow happy healer rules is because we no longer block the honest broker of truth within all of us. And so many of us, this honest broker of truth has been quieted for so long, yet the only place we ever rarely speak from this place is in our own mind. And now, when you learn how to let that part of you speak, and then others hear the sincerity in your voice, because it's just like a ninja can only beat a ninja, only an honest broker of truth in all of us is the key to speaking to each other in a way where we hear, but it must be genuine and it must be an honest from a loving heart. Then you have hope, and that is what a happy healer, my friends, is. And only the honest broker of truth can get through to an honest broker of truth. However, some don't understand these deeper communication skills, or how we work in these ways, or perhaps just lack in faith, or perhaps altogether and think humanity has so very little value, and that's what their action shows. And that too comes from a greedy thought process. But folks who really seek the most and want it, thought it, but they don't really understand that self-determination is made out of real love and gets to the soul and to the heart of what humanity wants. That's how we seek to live, and it's how we seek to live in love. We seek to matter in love and have purpose and value beyond the measure of greedy intent. But that love is a gift followed by a tremendous and ongoing feedback loop when done right, that is most powerful indeed, and a force unto itself in this universe. So powerful is the truth and knowledge of love, and a purpose-driven life and action made realized, transcending time and space, even dimensions, and all throughout. Indeed, I humbly believe of which it's the stuff our Creator has made. God Almighty! The truth and love we know we see so clearly when we see that which we see, and that which gives all of us the warmth, comfort with the honest, positive, creative thinking that solves problems and saves lives and lends to the cause of belief and hope in life and persevering and trying harder and acknowledging and trying hard to accept truths that serve self in the quest of making right choices that best serve of making our sacred task potential realized and directed from the bottom, realized and brought up through a natural progression of things without outside interference, with a pure heart lending help to a pure cause. And the results of all of this is right now a belief in the knowledge of power of truth as it is by itself now with just us. So you know then, and therefore that whatever the result, therefore rest in truth and knowledge, and understands the application of love is a necessary ingredient, yet knowledge rescues us and keeps us respecting that truth even around love itself requires so much truth to be implemented with great effect. It's just that we need coping mechanisms, and that's what's at work. It's the power, it's the gift of knowledge, having God's honest truth consumed by you and recognized, and giving you a vision on which to lead your life. Some of my friends encourage me to sell my trades and secrets, but I see it as not being like that we should have open source on something this important. And I believe that this is, besides it's just a universal truth all around us, it's there to be seen. And as that, should we open our eyes? And yes, I am its author, and yet you could have easily have been, if your vision was clear. Because when it is, it's that obvious what the right thing to do is. That is why I always speak to the honesty within a person's moral being. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're doing. Is it just stop there? Is that the end of it?
No, hold on a sec.
Go ahead and hit pause and play again.
Okay.
It might have been it that it let me just see this real quick.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. Let's just start right here, because that's where it was last highlighted.
Okay.
It's there, and it's because it's free that I can get from this magical gift, and that they can receive it properly. Something like this is not sold, folks. It's just passed on as quickly as possible from one person to the next. It's free and it's all around us, and it's coupled with the love that gives our action hope and purpose and intent, and therefore is so very powerful. And when I knew that I had that, and that kind of working power through Happy Healer techniques, and that it leads to very important coping mechanisms grounded in a concrete understanding of the facts, and by an honest broker of truth, your Happy Healer, me, coupled with the perception of having that life from an vantage point and so many vantage points, it allows me to pin down the truth that works for most people. That many perceptions. That's the power of love implemented, and it provides the fruitful results of knowledge and common sense that shows the evidence of truth, the kind that which bears for us all the future intersection for which we are all seeking to get, and tells us just how to get to that place fast, albeit with some sacrifice, all of which is stuff that builds in our experiences and makes our lives and our country better. Stuff we have been desiring to do, sacrifices we wish to make, things that give us value and purpose, and a means by which we can be aligned for something worth having and therefore worth working. And because we have a clear path we can all agree on, we can finally move on a happy, united place where we all want to be. Sometimes we have to get so pushed in the corner and completely all center before a source so righteous enough becomes also greatly needed, and that those powers come together in just the right doses, allowing us all to do the right thing at the right time. Self-determination's gift to Americans, if used, at last. A way forward is, of course, the direction we can all agree on, which unites and gives an even more power to cause. We know how it works. It never forgets. God never forgets. It stopped there.
Okay.
Just hit play again. I don't know what you're doing, dude.
Okay, hold on.
Just let me take
Oh,
it.
sorry.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Alright, I was right here. Sorry about that, folks. You know, just before we get going on this next step here, I'm just gonna make it clear. Hold, please, don't even touch it. I got it from here on out.
Okay.
Alright. And yeah, folks, so what's happening is I have to work off the systems that I have. And we have so much to do. And I've got my help. I try and use the best systems we can create out of that. And we do things differently. We don't have teleprompters and all the tools that the other guys have, but it's fine. We don't need them anyway. We don't need them. We've got other ways we do things, and we'll just get it done our way. And we'll be better for it. That's fine. We're creators. We do what we have to do. We improvise too. And we win. That's how happy healers win. All right, folks, let's try and finish this up, and then I have a few more things I want to go over with you. At last, the way forward is, of course, the direction that we can all agree on, which unites and gives even more power to cause. We know how it works. It never forgets. God never forgets. Now you know why I have so much faith, and that in my life I'm the center of my own universe. I get it. If not me, then who? Because this work need get done now, it must be from the honest broker of truth within. And if that same honest broker of truth has faith, then it's even stronger. So long as that faith is in line with God's nature and God's love, which is best practice and appreciation of life, which is the best way to show thanks, is to fully appreciate. And to appreciate this life is to love yourself. Doing so is also a very natural, and yet we are told we are selfish and wrong if we do that. Think about that. And that in a way many do because they let greed in. And then after having your complete trust, that which you and that outrageous attempts to cash in, all lies are just in an attempt to scam you and your social network. That's what they were doing to my friend. And these folks are only able to persist because for one reason, that greed. How do people honestly fall? And how do they honestly fall like that in the first place? And what I realize is that these folks are not dumb. They're the people that I described in my last cast, if you remember. They're people that believe that self-determination is their ability to enrich only themselves, and that they've gone to the egotistical ways, and that makes them so susceptible to greed. And yet greed always takes and gives nothing. We know this. Have you been up on your happy healer tactics and for happy living and for a happy life? Then you'd already know this. It prepares you with your happy healer tactics, as so long as folks can put some kind of greedy scam in front of your purview and that you react in a way that benefits them, you make our world less safe for our children. And I so often say sometimes, and I mean for good reason, because it's true, own your shame in that way, wear it proudly, and then change. And that's what we all have the power to do. Okay, that's awesome. So we finally got through that, folks, which I appreciate your patience on that. But it's so important. I stick steady and true to the cause of this information. I know you need it, and I know we all do. And that when we get it, and that when I break through, and I will break through, and I promise you, in this campaign I will break through, because we'll talk to the people who matter, and we'll start where it matters the most, at the bottom. And that these thoughts are nothing more than my thoughts organized and given back to you. That's it. These are coming out of me, and that we have figured it out through our experiences, being able to approach this world and say, I see what the truths are, because my eyes are not blind, and that I've opened my eyes, and that when I see that truth, and I share what I see because I love my fellow Americans. And that is being a happy healer to me. You better believe that. That is being a happy healer, and anything less than doing that, we are not showing up to the cause when we are needed most in our country by our countrymen. Some of them are blind. That is not an excuse. That we have to love and we have to promote truth. We see people losing their sanity and we do nothing. That this country is falling deeper in a hole and we do nothing. That ends with my campaign, and we go towards unity, because unity is the only place worth being. Anything else is less than what the American people and their exceptionalism and our self-determination that's written into our Constitution affords us. We are a bad stand to humanity itself if we can't prove ourselves capable of this time to pass these tests. That's why I say to you, get engaged. Citizens, activate. Now is the time. We don't have forever. Do we, Jeff?
No, we don't have forever. We need to do it now.
And that's just the truth. So we stay ever focused on that truth, and we keep that message clear. That is why I am putting these shows in a choreographed sense, so that you can see that truth come to you live. There is nothing to hide, and I've got so much behind the scenes stuff I do intend to share that helps bring our truths even to a deeper sense. You go to the website and it serves you in so many ways. These other candidates are spending more than half of their time chasing money. Greed is that problem, and that's why I spend 100% of my time on this campaign, and I expect you to understand why. That we can't have three-worded quotes and slogans to explain the complicated nature of the problems that we are experiencing in our beloved country. That we can't do that. That's irresponsible and it's wrong. And I love. That's right, I love. And I'm proud of that love. I know that love will solve all of our problems. And even yesterday when I was tired, I still loved. I came on, I said, I have to come on. I made a promise to my brethren. I said, I'm coming. And I came. And I'm here now, and I'll always be here because I am your honest broker of truth. And I know that deep down we all understand that this problem is hell on all of us. And that we didn't choose any of this. Nobody consciously decided to have this hell invade their lives. But we have to consciously decide to come out of it. And that, my fellow Americans, is the truth from an honest broker of truth. And you know that it's true and you know where it's coming from, and we have to respect that truth. We need unity in order to confront the real threats of our time. Not the trade war with China, but the technology war. And that if they get to the major fruits of technology before we do, then you can count us out, especially given our trade war. We just have to be serious in the times and know that when we're pissing people off and we're working on negative energies and that greed is controlling it all, that is asking for problems, and we know just how so far away that is from the loving God that we all so love so much, and that we just do our souls wrong when we don't answer to the love that we seek. Love creates all, and that hell, it comes from the greed. That greed steals that love creates, and greed just pulls it out, takes it away, and we allow it, we edge it on. We do it when we're greedy, even in our hate. We just have to start pulling back. My fellow Americans, where have you been? I've always loved you. I've never stopped. Although I have been on a quest to learn about the human soul, while the last 10 years so many have been walking into this trap. I say pull back! Come out of it! Because we can do better. Because we owe ourselves better. Just like I'm keeping this program on a roll, and that we are taking our message from one day to the next. We are not just simply repeating the same things over, that we have real purpose and value, that we are sharing that purpose and value, and that we are pulling it out in a way that you can understand from an honest broker of truth you can respect. That's everything that all the other candidates are not offering. They don't have the inspiration. They don't have the unity. They don't have the answers to our crises, and everything else they say they can't do because they don't have that unity. Think about this. They're just out for themselves. And as long as we accept that being an answer that's acceptable for our nation, our people, our children, our future, well then we will fail the great test of our time. And we know how true it is because of the threats that we face. Like China. Like the nuclear proliferation that hovers over our head in the form of this new Cold War going on now between Russia and the United States that's just getting its go. What are we going to do about that? By the time the next president takes office, that would have been decided. We need a great new economic industry based on human production to value the humanity in this country, that is based on robotic technology and artificial intelligence, that serves that need on overdrive, a super consumer to be erected from the people. Just like the answers are erected from the people, so comes a new value in all humanity. With the redemption, we put love to work. We see that love manifest itself within the value of the dollar that pays for this transformational change. and along with the investment it takes to get the work done we know is right to do in our time. Andrew Yang explains other reasons why it works, but I know that those reasons are only the beginning and that these reasons take you the rest of the way. Yeah, folks, we only have excuses like Debbie Downers to not do what's right, especially when doing what's right will save our lives. It becomes an easy choice then. Folks, get involved in this campaign. Use this as an opportunity, and I want to do a call out to so many people who I know you have been so involved and listening to the messages and being inspired, and that you hear and that you are involved in the most meaningful ways you call your happy healer, and we have together important and transformational moments. We learn from those moments, and I say continue doing that. And share with the discussion we're having, the public one. And thank you for your vote of confidence in me. I appreciate that. I worked so hard to be the person that I am, the person of love. And so thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. It'll always be that way. I'll always put my all into everything I do. Just because we have to, and because our children and our way of life is counting on it. Anything short, it just wouldn't be American, not the American I know. Ladies and gentlemen, I actually do believe in the truth, justice, and the American way, and that American way is love and empathy and compassion. I've seen it in my mother. I see it in all mothers. We can do this, and I challenge you to get involved. It's the life-enhancing decision to get on board with this campaign, and it's the right thing to do. And you feel better about life, and you start to feel happier and more hopeful, and you make life-enhancing decisions. Truth works for you again in ways that it wasn't working for you when you allowed yourself to be controlled and consumed by hate instead of allowing yourself to be empowered by love. That was a mistake, but you can fix it. Love is that powerful too. And I'm here to help you. And I love you. I love you so much. And you know how true that is. Coming from your happy healer. That'll always be the case, because I realize that in this life, the most important thing of all is having a life worth living. And when you have been through enough experiences, the hell that we are all experiencing, except for transcended upon your life like no other, leaving you in so much despair, you had no choice. You didn't have that choice to run the egotistical decision of saying you're right, because the world shows you how wrong you are in ways that you cannot deny. And so all you can do is learn, and that learning is the right thing, and that if we can get the learning faster, it'll certainly be us a humble heart that gets us there, and it'll be us that somebody that can speak from the humble heart of truth. And that's what I am. And I will see us to it, and I will love while I do it. I am not worried about saving face. I am worried about saving our lives. Folks, get involved with this campaign. God bless you so much, all of you who have been. Thank you, those of you who have been reaching out. You know who you are. Even though I haven't mentioned your name, you know that you exist in the sphere of life that is the happy healer, that's growing and evolving every day and all the time. I can only imagine what it will be in the future, having known what it was in the past. God bless you. Good night. We will see you soon. And we come back with great inspiration all the time. Watch out for these messages. God bless you and good night.